Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of Series Podcast. First of all, what is series? Series is southern from Sastra English series, and in this podcast, we are going to talk about many things with many interesting topics. After that, let me introduce myself. I'm Laurel Agatha as your host today. A little about me: I'm an English literature student, and fantasy novels have always been my escape and inspiration. Today we're diving into enchanting world of fantasy novels. Joining me is someone very special, my classmate, friend, and fellow lover of all things magical. Please welcome Rani.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk about one of my favorite topics, fantasy novels.
We're thrilled to have you. It's not every day I get to share this platform with someone who's also deep into English literature and storytelling. And I noticed you broke Caraval by Stephanie Garber.
Yes.
Can't wait to hear more about that. But first, let's start with the basic. What drew you to fantasy novels in the first place? Was it in the magic, the credits, or something else?
For me, it was all about the escape. Fantasy offers the incredible chance to step into the world where the impossible become reality. It's a freeing, exhilarating, and yes, the magical creature was a big draw. Dragons, phoenix, unicorns, you name it.
I completely agree. There's something so comforting about immersing yourself in a magical realm. Speaking of creators, if you had to pick one mythical companion, what would it be?
That's a tough choice, but I go with a phoenix. They're graceful, powerful, and symbolize resilience. Plus, imagine flying through the skies with a fiery bird. It's a dream, right?
Ponic is such a unique and empowering choice. Personally, I'd probably go for Dragon. I'd name it Sparkle for a touch of whimsy. What would you name yours?
Sparkle is so adorable, but I think I'd go with Ember. It's mystical, fiery, just like a phoenix should be.
Love it. Now let's dive into Caraval. Why did you pick this book? Share with us today.
Careful is one of those books that stay with you after you turn to the last page. It's about two sisters that swept into the magical game where the reality and illusion are blurred. It's filled with suspense, romance, and incredible twists. What really struck me was the theme of trust, learning about trust and how to trust yourself.
That sounds captivating. I've heard Caraval has that dreamlike, immersive quality that makes readers feel like they're part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The writing is so vivid. It's almost like you're living in the story. It's a perfect pick for anyone who loves richly imagined world that an unpredictable narrative.
Adding it to my TBR immediately. Speaking of fantasy world, if you could live in any one of them, which would it be?
Definitely Middle Earth from the Lord of the Rings. It's settled in the Shire of peaceful morning, lush greenery, and of course, second breakfast.
The Zardos sounds dreamy. I want Gandalf as a neighbor. Imagine the adventures.
Absolutely, candle showing up your door and say, "Shall we begin?" Would you impossibility to resist?
That brings us to big question. Fantasy often involves epic battles or deep character arcs. Which do you find more compelling?
I have to go with character arcs. There's something so satisfying about seeing character grow, especially if they start as an underdog. It's inspiring to watch someone overcome with their fears and rise to the occasion.
Couldn't agree more. I'm sucker for Relaton Heroes series. Speaking of tropes, what's your take on the chosen one trope?
It's a classic for a reason, but I think I can feel overdone at times. I'd love to see more stories where ordinary people rise to the challenge. It feels more relatable and grounded.
Definitely, hero whose flave but determined would be such a refreshing take. Now let's shift to recommendation. What fantasy novels would you suggest to someone new to the genre?
I'd recommend starting with The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's accessible and iconic. For something more contemporary, Caraval is a great choice. And for younger readers, Harry Potter is always a magical entry point.
Fantastic picks. And what advice would you give to someone with hesitant to start fantasy because of the often long and complex stories?
I'd say start small and try novels or standalone books before diving into epic stories. And don't worry about understanding everything at once. Part of the magic is placing with things together as you go.
Wise advice. Fantasy can be incredibly rewarding once you allow yourself to get lost in it. Before we wrap up, as fellow English literature student, what do you think makes fantasy such a unique and valuable genre?
Fantasy views the boundaries of imagination and creativity while exploring universal themes like courage, love, and identity. It allows readers to confront real-world issues in symbolic ways, making it both entertaining and thought-provoking. Plus, the sheer beauty of language and world-building often rivals challenge classic literature.
Beautifully said. Fantasy truly enrich our understanding of storytelling and humanity. To conclude, as English literature student, I think we can both agree that fantasy has unique way of blending art, emotion, and intellect to create something timeless.
Absolutely, whether it's through epic quests or quiet personal journeys, fantasy has a way of reminding us that magic exists in book or in life.
Perfectly put, Rani. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your insight.
Thank you for having me, Laurel. It's been such a joy discussing series with you.
And that's wrap on today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and share your favorite fantasy read with us. Until next time, keep dreaming and let the magic of literature inspire you. And see you on the next episode. Last word, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.
Bye.